Those bankers were just upset that they got outsmarted by a 20-something Russian girl without a penny to her name. When Anna was 16, her family moved to the small town of Eschweiler in North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany. Her father was Vadim Sorokin, a truck driver, and her mother was a convenience store owner. It didn't seem like Anna liked Germany all that much. Their town was pretty dull, and she struggled with the German language. Her classmates described her as quiet, but she was for sure a fashionista. Anna's upbringing never really matched her vision of who she wanted to be, and she wanted people to believe that she came from a wealthy background. So she decided to go with a fake it till you make it strategy and become the rich Anna Delvey, which she completely made up that last name.
She then moved to Berlin in 2012, where she worked as a fashion intern at a PR firm. Allegedly, Anna borrowed lots of money from her friends there without paying anyone back. In 2013, Anna moved to Paris to intern for the fashion magazine Purple. That internship is where Anna Sorokin became Anna Delvey. She used that name as an alias to post photos she took for Purple. According to Anna, Delvey was her mother's maiden name, but her family had never heard of that name before. While she worked at the magazine, she attended many fashion parties and made friends with plenty of people in the industry, and life was awesome. Not only that, but Anna's boyfriend was a rich tech futurist, and he introduced her to the business world, but they ended up breaking up in 2016. Her now ex-boyfriend moved to Dubai, and Anna went to New York. It was time for her to start a new life there.
When she moved to the city, Anna's scheme really started to take off. Instead of a working-class Russian girl, she became a sophisticated German heiress. Everyone could tell that Anna was the daughter of people who had serious dough. Anna always claimed that her money came from her rich father, but nobody knew exactly what her father did to make his fortune. But another strange thing about Miss Anna Delvey was that she was always sort of mooching off of other people, which was weird for a girl who had a 60 million euro trust fund. There were always excuses ready for why she couldn't pay, but she promised she would eventually pay, and nobody really raised an eyebrow at first. A few hundred or even a few $1,000s wasn't really a lot of money to some of Anna's really wealthy friends.
It was actually kind of surprising that Anna had any friends at all. She was generally pretty rude and uppity to people she didn't know, but she was rich and she had good taste, so people were able to overlook her attitude. Rachel Williams, a young photo editor at Vanity Fair, was one of those people. Rachel first came across Anna on Instagram. Later, the two met at a nightclub in New York for the first time. Anna and Rachel became fast friends. She explained to Rachel that she was going to start her own visual arts center. It was going to be like the Soho House, but better. That social club would be called the Anna Delvey Foundation. The club needed investors to fund the project, so Anna attracted multiple high-profile entrepreneurs, hotel owners, and architects to help fund the foundation. As for the club's foundation, Anna was eyeing 281 Park Avenue South, the historic Church Missions House in Manhattan.
To secure the lease, Anna needed the help of some high-powered attorneys in New York. She used the services of multiple prestigious law firms, but the most notable lawyer who worked with Anna was Andy Lance. On November 21st, 2016, Anna tried to get a $22 million loan from City National Bank. She told the banker that she had 60 million in euros in a trust fund controlled by her father in Germany. The 60 million would secure the loan. And Anna said that she'd have a letter verifying the trust sent from UBS, an investment banking firm based in Switzerland. But of course, this fortune didn't exist. On February 17th, 2017, Anna decided to move into the 11 Howard, which is a trendy boutique hotel in Soho. She booked a month-long stay in a $400 a night room. Most hotels require a credit card for their guests to keep on file during their visit, but Anna didn't give them a card number. Instead, she told the hotel that she would wire money for her stay. Wire transfers weren't something they were used to accepting as payment, but they knew that Anna was one of A.B. Rosen's clients. He owned the hotel, so they agreed to be paid by wire transfer from Anna's father.
A lot of the other hotel employees didn't like Anna at first. She'd make comments to the staff like, "Why are you broke?" all the time. But employees would later start fighting over who got to do Anna's favors because she'd always hand out $100 bills.
That was like her things, tipping $100.
One day, Anna strolled into the lobby and started chatting with Nefertari Davis, or Neff for short, a young concierge at the hotel. She slipped Neff a $100 bill and asked for restaurant recommendations. Dealing with wealthy guests was nothing new for Neff, but Anna seemed different. Neff wasn't the only person who was dazzled by Anna's glamorous ways. Casey Duke, a personal trainer and life coach, befriended Anna after she became one of her clients. But that didn't mean life was all glitz and glamour for Anna. Her financial schemes were running into some problems.
One day, a manager at 11 Howard told Neff that Anna hadn't paid the hotel bill. It had been a month and a half since Anna arrived there and her wire transfer hadn't come in. Then, as if by magic, Anna wired the 11 Howard $30,000 through Citibank. But this wasn't the end of Anna's problems at this hotel. Management kept asking her to put a credit card on file, and she never did. The charges began piling up once again. But despite this, Anna continued to live large. One of Anna's bankers got her on the list for the annual Berkshire Hathaway Shareholders Conference in Omaha, Nebraska. On May 5th, Anna booked a private jet trip from New York to Omaha, and just like that, Anna took off for Omaha. The trip was fine until Anna got a troubling text from Neff. Neff explained that the hotel had put all of Anna's things in storage and changed the code to her room. They'd only give her access to her belongings if she paid the bill again.
Anna was set to move out after she returned from Morocco. Anna asked Neff if she'd like to join her on the trip, but Neff said that she couldn't take that much time off of work. Of course, Anna just told her to quit her job, but Rachel was happy to join Anna in Morocco. She understood that Anna would be paying for the whole vacation, which included a $7,000 a night riad at the La Munia Hotel in Marrakesh. Anna had given the hotel her debit card number, but the card didn't have enough funds to pay for the trip. And a few days into their stay, the hotel ran the card, and of course, it declined. The staff was pretty pissed off at that point, and two menacing-looking hotel workers showed up at the riad and threatened to arrest Anna if she didn't pay up. Again, Anna's excuse was that the bank had the money tied up and the funds were on the way, but that was clearly the wrong answer. The two men were getting pretty angry and Rachel was scared, and they needed a quick solution or something was about to happen. Clearly, Anna's cards were not an option, so Rachel knew the only way out of the mess was to hand the two men her Amex. The whole incident still freaked Rachel out though, and she left for New York the next day, and all of a sudden, Anna was alone in Morocco. Towards the end of the trip, Anna called Casey sobbing hysterically. She was alone at the Four Seasons Hotel in Casablanca. Casey didn't know what to do. She tried giving the staff her own credit card number to cover the bill, but her card didn't go through either. By some miracle, the hotel admitted that the issues with the card payments were probably their fault, and Casey reassured the staff that Anna would pay them back soon. When Anna got back from Morocco, she moved out of the 11 Howard and into the Beekman Hotel in Lower Manhattan. Anna lived at the Beekman for 20 days, and she promised the hotel that she'd pay for her stay via wire transfer. But they never got the $11,500 wire transfer they were promised, and Anna didn't leave them a credit card on file. So they locked Anna out of her room and threw all of her stuff in storage. Anna then moved into the nearby W Hotel. Only 2 days later, though, those same payment issues led to Anna getting tossed out. And now, Anna had no place to stay. She called up Casey sobbing and asked to spend the night. Casey didn't want to let her stay over, but Anna said she was really worried she might do something to herself.
Anna looked absolutely ragged. Casey lent Anna one of her dresses and sent her on her way the next morning. Anna had left her laptop behind, and at this point, Casey had enough of her. She took the laptop down to the doorman and told Anna to pick it up there. That night, Casey got a call from her doorman. Anna was in the lobby. Casey told the doorman to tell her that she wasn't home. Anna sat in the lobby and waited 6 whole hours while Casey desperately waited for her to leave. Now Casey was really suspicious. While she sat trapped in her apartment, she called up local hotels and asked them about Anna. They were all immediately like, Jesus, that girl? Apparently, Anna never paid the hotel, and Rachel was charged $62,000 for the trip. Rachel had been begging Anna to pay her back. $62,000 was more than she made in an entire year. The situation was becoming incredibly stressful. Anna always had an excuse. It was excuse after excuse for not getting the money back to Rachel. That July, the W Hotel and the Beekman pressed charges against Anna for theft of services. Both of these charges were misdemeanors. Anna went ahead and hired a criminal attorney, Todd Spodek, to help her fight the case. She insisted that the whole thing was one big misunderstanding. And on July 31st, the New York Post published a less than flattering article about Anna with the headline, "Wannabe Socialite Busted for Skipping Out on Pricey Hotel Bills." The article referenced Anna's recent disputes with the hotels and mentioned that Anna had tried to dine and dash at a nice restaurant. When Casey heard the news, she called up Rachel and they planned an intervention for Anna. They wanted to get to the bottom of what was going on. But at the meeting, Anna tried to make up excuses and shift the blame. Casey and Rachel were not having any more of her bullshit. They demanded to know when everyone was going to get paid back. Anna said that once she leased the church missions building, everyone would get their money back. Casey angrily informed Anna that someone had already rented the building, so that was not going to happen. She showed Anna a screenshot of the news. The Swedish museum Fotografiska had signed the lease, and Anna stared at the screen and then replied, That's fake news.
Casey and Rachel still didn't want to leave Anna out on the streets, so they paid for her to spend the night at the hotel. They warned the hotel to clean out the minibar and not let Anna charge anything to the room. Then Anna spent 2 nights at the Bowery Hotel. She paid them by giving them a forged wire transfer receipt. On August 17th and August 21st, she deposited 2 bad checks into her signature bank account worth $15,000. Before the checks were returned, Anna withdrew $8,200 from the account over the next few days. She used the money to travel to Passages Malibu, a luxury rehab facility in California. Anna has claimed that she didn't want to go to rehab for drug or alcohol abuse, but she hasn't fully explained why she checked in there. Anna was scheduled for a court date on September 5th. She never showed up, probably because she was away at Passages. Meanwhile, Rachel was at her wit's end. Something needed to be done, so she called the police and they started working on a sting operation. They were going to bust Anna in California. Rachel started texting her and pretended to be concerned and asked to meet up. She asked Anna questions about her rehab to try and figure out which treatment center she was staying at. Anna bought the act, and she told Rachel that her rehab was across from the Pacific Coast Highway. That's how Rachel discovered Anna was staying at the Passages. When Anna left the rehab that day, the cops immediately surrounded her. On October 3rd, 2017, Anna was arrested outside of the Passages Malibu. She was later indicted on 2 counts of first-degree attempted grand larceny, 2 counts of second-degree grand larceny, 3 counts of third-degree grand larceny, and 1 count of theft of services. Anna had no idea that her own friend had dropped a dime on her. The judge determined that Anna was a flight risk, and she was held without bail while she waited for her trial to begin. In the meantime, Anna was sent to the notorious Rikers Island prison in New York. Anna was disciplined at Rikers over 13 times for things like disobeying authority and fighting. Due to her behavior, she was moved to a maximum security jail section. One day, a journalist named Jessica Pressler discovered Anna's story. She started visiting Anna at Rikers so she could write an exclusive on the wannabe socialite. It seemed like Anna was doing pretty well in jail, and she said it was like a sociological experiment. Jessica even traveled to Germany to talk to Anna's family. And finally, on May 28th, 2018, New York Magazine published Jessica's article, "Maybe she had so much money she just lost track of it." The story quickly became a viral hit, and Netflix bought the film rights to Jessica's article. Just before Jessica published her article in the New York Magazine, Rachel Williams wrote a story of her own, and Vanity Fair paid her $1,200 for an article she wrote about her broken friendship with Anna. Initially, Anna's lawyers tried to make a plea bargain of 3 to 9 years if she pled guilty ahead of her trial. The judge rejected the offer because Anna showed no remorse, and now she was facing a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison.
Anna's trial began on March 27th, 2019. Her parents did not attend the court proceedings. Many reporters did, though, of course, and they made notes of all of her designer outfits throughout the process. She wanted to look her best at the trial, so she had her lawyer hire a court stylist to pick her outfits. While the media snapped photos of Anna, prosecutors laid out their case for the jury. They argued that Anna was a skilled fundraiser who tricked business associates and friends out of over $275,000. The jury didn't get to hear about the $250,000 that Anna owed to multiple prestigious New York law firms. Anna created all of her fake bank statements using Microsoft Word. Imagine that. But Todd, Anna's lawyer, argued that she was just faking it until she made it. Then it was Rachel's turn to testify. Through tears, she read out some of the texts where she begged Anna to pay her back, or else she couldn't pay her rent. At the end of the day, jury did not like Rachel or her story. It seemed like she was only friends with Anna for all of the free stuff, and she voluntarily gave Anna her card to stay in with her.
And on April 25th, 2019, Anna was found guilty on 8 charges, including theft of services, second-degree grand larceny, and first-degree attempted grand larceny. On May 9th, 2019, Anna was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison. She was also fined $24,000 in order to pay her victims restitution. Anna made one statement at her sentencing hearing: "I apologize for the mistakes I have made." And that was it. The next day, Anna told the New York Times that she wasn't sorry for anything that she did. She made excuses for her actions, and she said that she always intended to pay everyone back. But she did admit, "I'm not a good person." And guess what? On February 11th, 2021, Anna was released from prison on good behavior.
And Anna went right back to posting after she got out of jail. After her story blew up, she earned a ton of online fans. Anna sold the rights to her story to Netflix for $320,000. But due to Son of Sam laws, which are put in place to stop criminals from profiting off of their crimes, the money will go back to the victims as restitution. Around 6 weeks after she was released from prison, Anna was picked up by ICE for overstaying her visa. She is currently being held at the Orange County Correctional Facility in New York. She is set to be deported back to Germany, but she and her legal team are trying to fight that deportation, and I feel like there's a good chance she'll get out of that. A judge mentioned Anna's social media posts as one of the reasons why she's still in detention. The posts show that Anna clearly has no remorse for her actions. In response, Anna said that her Instagram has always been a satire of her situation, and she doesn't want to glorify her crimes. Recently, Anna also slammed Rachel on Instagram in a multi-part story, which, side note, her manager runs her Instagram account while she's in custody. And she told her followers that Rachel was a hypocrite and a liar, and she was clearly jealous of her success. Many news outlets have reported that Anna's father has disowned her. However, Anna said that her family and her still talk pretty regularly, but it doesn't sound like these chats are very positive. Still, Vadim says that he would welcome Anna back into their home with open arms if she was deported to Germany. He believes that it will be a new beginning and a second chance for her, but it doesn't look like Anna will take him up on that offer, and she wants to stay here in the US. Regardless, it looks like we haven't heard the last from the fake German heiress who grifted her way through Soho.
I'm impressed with her ability. It reminds me of like the Catch Me If You Can movie a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that was her plan all along. She's like, I'm just going to like build this over time, and then eventually it's going to blow up, be this big story. I could see her kind of masterminding this type of whole thing.
Maybe.
That is it for us today.
Keep on taking your mind a mile higher.